We start here this hour. Convicted rapist and murderer Thabo Bester is expected to appear before the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court this morning. He's arrived under heavy police protection. Bester was serving a life sentence at the time of his escape. He, at this stage, faces a charge of escaping from lawful custody, defeating the ends of justice, violation of a dead body, as well as fraud. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is watching developments and joins us yet again. Manqoba, what's the latest from your side?
Well, Mfundo, of course, we're expecting that court appearance to start around about an hour from now. In fact, we've been told that he will be appearing at one of the courts inside here, which is Court 8 at 11 o'clock. And just a short while ago, Mfundo, in fact, we saw Thabo Bester arriving here at the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court amid high security that had been accompanying him. Of course, the convoy, we understand, had left Gauteng this morning, and he was escorted by a number of officials, including police as well as correctional services officials that were part of this particular convoy, given the fact that you know, Mfundo, that Thabo Bester is already a convicted felon, and therefore his appearance here, he had to be brought to court by correctional services officials where he had been coming from. You recall that after he was, of course, arrested on arrival here in the country, he had been taken to the Kgosi Mampuru Correctional Center, where he had been under 24-hour surveillance from officials at that particular center due to the high risk of this case. And of course, this is what we saw even on his arrival this morning. There was quite a number of police officials even here outside of court. Just minutes before he arrived, we saw a huge contingent of police that were here in and around the court, outside on the corners of the court. Specialized teams of police, we understand, that were here, including the National Intervention Unit that we saw stationed outside here. And I guess it speaks to the security issues and the high risk of this particular appearance here in court, given the fact that we're talking about somebody here who has been able to escape lawful custody. This is somebody who masterminded a daring escape here in the country back in May last year. And of course, there's still a lot of questions as to how that happened, but we know that Thabo Bester was the mastermind behind this particular escape, of course assisted by several officials as well as his girlfriend, Dr. Nandipha Makudumana. Her appearance here in court as well was amid heightened security, where we saw police even inside the court precinct itself, some of them positioned on seats, elevated positions across the court, just to ensure that they had eyes on what was happening in court. And her appearance here was not long. It was quite brief. She appeared just for a few minutes, where the matter was then postponed to the 17th of April, which is Monday, and that's when she's expected to appear alongside her father, Zolile Sekeleni, who was also arrested earlier this week. He appeared, of course, also at this court with another employee or former employee of G4S, who also assisted Thabo Bester in this escape plan. Of course, all of them are facing charges of aiding and abetting the escape of a prisoner from lawful custody. They're also facing charges related to defeating the ends of justice. There are also charges of arson, as well as charges of murder for some of those accused, including, of course, Nandipha Makudumana's father, as well as Dr. Nandipha herself, who's facing also charges of violation of a body for the bodies that you understand were found with the three bodies that she had apparently stolen from one of the mortuaries here in Bloemfontein. And of course, at this particular point, what we understand is that Thabo Bester is also likely to face some of these charges, but top of those charges, of course, will be the unlawful escape from a correctional services center. And of course, possibly we might also see charges of defeating the ends of justice also being added. I think we're going to get a clearer sense of the charges that he'll be facing once he appears here in court. It's not going to be a long appearance. We understand that it's going to be brief, just like the other appearances that we saw here in this particular court this week. And at this point, it's still not clear whether the cases will be joined, but the likelihood is that these suspects are likely to be joined together, which means that Thabo Bester is now going to become accused number 5 in this particular matter. But of course, at this point, also police not ruling out that there could be further arrest. Well, we are expecting to hear from the court when it does resume at 11 o'clock this morning.
And then just before I let you go, confirmation yet again, has every administrative process been ticked for the media to broadcast live for those proceedings?
Indeed, Fundo. In fact, well, when we arrived here, this is one of the things that, we've been asked to ensure that we register as the media. We made applications also to the court to be inside this sitting or hearing that is going to take place. And we have been processed, of course, and we are going to be allowed to take those proceedings live. But there's been quite a, heightened security as far also as those that will be making, their way inside court. We understand that there's going to be restrictions as to how many people will be inside court. And of course, the media, we've had to get tags to specifically be allowed to go inside this court. And, we are told that, once, Thabo Bester, had arrived, or, once he arrives, we are then going to be allowed to go inside. And we know, of course, that he has now arrived. So we will be making our way inside court. We understand that the media, there's a certain time that has been allocated to the media to go inside this court, that being around about 10:30. And so we are going to be going inside these proceedings and following, of course, these proceedings from inside Mfundo. There has been no issues as far as that is concerned, given the fact, of course, that we know that this is, a matter that has created large, public interest, as well as, you see that from outside court, when you look at the number of people that are here, the interest and the curiosity around this case that they have. Many of them were here when, he arrived here at this facility just a short while ago, taking photos, taking videos. And I guess, it speaks to the importance of this particular case and the public interest that it has created. And therefore, we should be able to bring those visuals live to you.
All right. Manqoba, we'll leave it there for now and catch up with you around 11 o'clock when proceedings do get underway.